Yo, what's going on, guys? And today we're talking about the Warriors free agent workouts, the Lamar Stevens rumors, which team might sign him, and Elfrid Payton works out with the Timberwolves and the Charlotte Hornets. Let's get right in today's video. We'll start with the Warriors, but hit that like and subscribe button. Let me hear your thoughts down below in the comment section, and subscribe. We're on the way to 20,000. Let's go. All right, so the Golden State Warriors are working out Kent Bazemore, Juan Toscano-Anderson, Dewayne Dedmon, Will Barton, Jaylen Nowell, Stanley Johnson, Derrick Favors, which is definitely interesting. As you guys know, Kent Bazemore shot 40% from three with the Golden State Warriors back in the 2020 to 21 season. Juan Toscano-Anderson won a championship with them in 2022. Dewayne Dedmon actually made his NBA debut with the Warriors in 4 games in 2013 to 14. Will Barton worked out with the Pelicans also, but he is a guy that, was pretty bad last year for both the Raptors and the Wizards as he went to the bench. And then Jaylen Nowell is a 6-man who averaged a career high 10.8. And Jaylen Nowell was a guy that we heard was almost signed in trade. Stanley Johnson, he never really got a consistent jump shot, but he's still a really good defender. Derrick Favors is a guy who's averaged 10 and 7 for his career. But when we look at each guy, let's just explain them, because I think people are going to sit here and be like, well, so-and-so should be the guy and XYZ, but I feel like that's not the right way to go about it. So let's just go real quick and we'll talk about each guy. Kent Bazemore, this guy, the problem with him right now is he's like 35, 34, okay? And he's kind of inconsistent at 3, but, he's a 3-and-D guy who's a help defender. He's getting older and he doesn't have that athletic ability anymore, so he's just kind of a fringe player in my ability, so he's the least likely. Now, let's go over Juan Toscano-Anderson. Why should he be, considered? I think he's someone he's a good energy guy, but I'm not going to sit here and, pound the Juan Toscano-Anderson drum, because I feel like that might not be the smartest. He's kind of an energy guy, hustle player. He's definitely a guy who could probably make a lot more money and get more playing time in Europe, if I had to say so myself. So that's what I got right there. Dewayne Dedmon, he's a good backup big, but that's basically what he is. He can't, I don't even know if he's a guy you want shooting threes, but he can shoot threes. He doesn't do it at an elite level, but he can do it. And he's kind of a 3-and-D, but he's just best utilized as a backup big, not somebody you want playing heavy minutes, in my opinion. Then you got yourself Will Barton. Like I said, he's just a scorer who isn't efficient anymore. Jaylen Nowell, really, out of this group, is the best one, in my opinion. Next up is Lamar Stevens. So Michael Scotto writes that Lamar Stevens is a guy that we're hearing has drawn interest from the Boston Celtics, which I think he's a perfect fit to replace Grant Williams. He's the guy you want there. I'm a Timberwolves fan, so I would love Minnesota to get him. Supposedly Minnesota's interested in him. The Boston Celtics are. The Houston Rockets and the Heat are all interested in him. I'm telling you right now, I think the Houston Rockets are the least likely. I think the most likely is probably Miami, because he's probably waiting for the Damian Lillard trade to happen, and then he's going to go to Miami because he knows he can be like a 20-minute guy there. And if Miami doesn't work out, I think it's Boston is the next. Those are the two best fits. I think Boston offensively, I think actually both sides he would thrive good, but I think Boston would be better. And because I just think, Joe Mazzulla would get him there good, but Lamar Stevens would thrive in either place. I think Houston's not even likely, but Boston signs Svi Mykhailiuk, which, they have 14 players who either have fully or partially guaranteed contracts and only one open roster spot. So I think in Minnesota also has a roster spot, and with Kevin Porter Jr. having his whole situation, teams are watching with what's going on there. And Miami continues to be in that holding pattern when Damian Lillard, and they're continuing to eye potential rotational depth with handshake deals until the deal comes into fruition. So I think, again, Lamar probably going to Miami, and if Miami doesn't work out, it's going to be Boston. If he ends up in Minnesota, it's because they signed. By the way, Lamar Stevens is this guy who's going to come in. I mean, he's nothing insane. Okay, I also should have read you his stats. He averaged, for his career, 16 minutes a night, 5 points, 47% from the field, 28 from three rebounds, and about just under a block and a steal a night and under an assist a night. But last year he played a career high 18 minutes a night in 62 games, averaged 5 points, 45% from the field, 32 from three, 3.5 rebounds. So there's that. And like, look, he's going to be a guy who, you know, he can play small forward, power forward. And I mean, he was a 19 points per game scorer over his last 2 years at Penn State. He's a guy who can help out on both sides, got good athleticism and burst, can get down low, and he defends well for his size and athleticism. Guys, I'm an Orlando Magic fan, and you guys know that, like, I wanted Elfrid Payton to work out, but he didn't. So Elfrid Payton last played for the Suns in 21-22, played 50 games, 11 minutes a night, 3 points, 38% from the field, 22 from three, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, a little under a steal a night. But for his career, he's played 500 games, 27 minutes a night, 45% from the field, just under 29% from three, 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 1.5 steals. And he's a guy that, like, is a really good passer, and supposedly he's worked out for the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Charlotte Hornets. And he's 29 years old. He's played 8 seasons in the NBA, with 3 of those coming in, I guess, 3.5 in Orlando. And he's a guy that has started 395 out of those 500 games. So, I mean, he has shown. And in Orlando, he shot actually like 30% from 3 and also 31% from 3 on 2.5 attempts in New Orleans. So he has shown that he can shoot the 3. It's not like he's insane. And he's a really good defender. Okay. And at this point, Elfrid Payton, he's a guy who's a two-way, guard. And he's a good athlete. He's great at the pick and roll, but he can't shoot. Like, sometimes he'll get hot, but you can go inside and attack the basket below the rim a little bit. Good backup defender, that backcourt defender, not bad. Like, I mean, he's a good guy off the bench to be there. He's got good strength. Not much of a scorer, but, like, he's a passer. But he's got a 6'8" wingspan. So put that in consideration. It's pretty large. But yeah, I think with everything we're hearing, I had to take some water, guys, because my mouth was thirsty. I definitely think this is a team that's going to thrive with, not thrive, but Charlotte is probably the best team for him to go to. Charlotte's been loving to get themselves those Dennis Smith Jr., and then what they have the year before that, it was, who did they have the year before Dennis Smith? Well, this year that replaced Dennis Smith, they just signed Frank Ntilikina. So it seems like they love that, getting guys. I actually know someone within not the Hornets, but the Swarms organization. He's obviously entwined with the Hornets, so that's good to hear. That maybe I can go reach out and see how likely it is that you're going to sign out for Payton. But that's it for today's video. Hit that like and subscribe button. Love y'all. Goodbye.